Welcome back to Basement Birds. Logan, Reid, coming to you, recording live in my basement, in front of a very messy table. I've noticed the past couple of weeks I've had a very messy table right here over my left shoulder, as keen-eye viewers would notice.
Tyler?
Tyler, that I am. The ping pong table has been taken over for the shower, which is coming up in 2 weeks. Our bridal shower, Cole's bridal shower, which I like to say mine. I think we're going to do some of those games where we hold up a shoe, But anyway,
okay, yeah.
welcome.
There you go.
How we doing, Reid?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I just cooked and used my Blackstone for the first time ever. Got
How'd
it
that go?
for the shower. It was great. It was wonderful. That's story for another time, though.
What's the whole appeal? One second. What's the whole appeal of a Blackstone?
It's like cast iron, so
Yeah, it's just a big cast iron griddle, right?
And it's a flat top versus like a regular slated grill. It requires a lot of setup, though.
Okay.
It's like you go through a seasoning process before the first use, where you heat it up, apply some oils to the surface to make sure it's nicely
Griddled?
will survive. Yeah, nicely griddled,
That works
and
too, yeah.
Has a nice surface, a non-stick surface.
Interesting. Maybe I should get one of these.
Yeah. I mean, actually, my neighbor
I can
and
get a tabletop one for only $160.
Yeah.
Wow.
My neighbor and I actually just got them at the same time, so we've been kind of learning together how to put them together, what the process is of
How old
doing
is your
it.
neighbor?
He's 10 years older than me, I think.
Oh, okay, got it. I don't know. I always just envision like you and like some really old neighbor, just chopping it up over the griddle.
I mean, I would, dude. I wave to everybody in the neighborhood, dude.
Yeah?
There's Ryan down the street. His grass, unbelievable. And Nicole talks about his grass. I'm like, Nicole, stop talking about Ryan's grass, okay? His
Our
grass
is just
absolutely incredible. I mean, he must mow. He must mow 4 times a day. I don't know how he gets such beautiful stripes.
Or he's painting it.
No, we don't do that in Illinois. But I mean, I could sit here and talk about
Yeah, that's okay.
neighborhood drama all day.
I got a story to tell.
Okay.
I got a story. So, as I think I've referenced this before in the podcast, I live right across the street from a walking bike path, paved pathway area thing that runs along the canal.
I don't think I even knew that. No.
Okay. So I live right across the street from a bike path, which is pretty sick for me as someone who bikes a lot. So I can go out my front door, get on the bike path, and just go for miles, which is great. Okay. And I think I've now taken 5 bike rides on the path when the weather has been nicer, and it's really nice. Important detail here, though. It runs along the canal. It runs alongside a body of water, okay? And what animal likes bodies of water?
Fish?
Yes. Normal land animal that also likes water.
Bears?
Sure. I'm thinking of geese.
Goose?
Okay?
Geese?
Gooses, geese.
Goss?
They like water. They
Geese?
also like the trail that I bike along, okay? I went for 2 bike rides back in, I think it was April, when it was nice, right? We had this nice stretch of warm weather, so I went out, rode a couple times. Back-to-back days, I get to the same spot on the trail, and there are these 2 geese in the middle of the path, and they will not budge. Like, I'm, yelling at them. I'm making all sorts of noises. I'm about to throw a rock at them, to get these geese to move.
Do you have a horn on your bike where you go,
I don't have a horn, but my bike computer has a virtual bell on it, which is pretty cool. So, tried that. That didn't work.
Nerd alert.
Okay, tried everything. Trying to get these damn geese to move, okay? And the geese aren't moving, okay? They're staying put. And this is really annoying, obviously, So,
and God forbid you get off the bike.
They're in the middle of the path. Where am I going to go? I have no way around them.
You just don't stop, man. You just keep going. But they'll honk at you. They'll chase you.
I'm getting there, okay? So those 2 times, that became my turnaround point. It was only about a half mile from my normal turnaround point, so that was fine. That became my early turnaround point. Whatever, okay? Friday, nice weather, go for a bike ride, and I'm riding along, and I encounter some geese along a turn, okay? This time they are off the path. not on the path, probably a couple feet off the side, okay? So, me thinking nothing of it, I ride past him, and this goose hisses at me. I didn't know geese could hiss, okay? Learned that, you know? This thing hissed at me. It was mad, okay? Madder than a wet hen, madder than a wet goose, you may say, you know? So I'm like, all right, that's fun. Hit my turnaround point, go back, past the geese again. They have not moved in the 20 minutes that I've been away from them, and they hiss at me again. I'm like, all right, this is great. So I'm like, I hate dealing with geese because this is now 3 trips on this bike path, 3 encounters with geese, okay? For Saturday, go for a bike ride, go a little bit further along the canal again, and now there are more geese along the path. And what do? They hiss at me again. So I've now been hissed at by geese 2 days in a row, which is really weird. You know, it's like if I had a nickel for every time that I've been hissed at by a geese while riding my bike, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's strange that I have 2, you know.
Some would say that's a dime.
It could be. It could be a dime, you know. It could be a quarter if you cut it weird, you know. So I get hissed at by the geese. So I'm like, whatever. These damn geese, you know, they're really, really cramping my style. Okay. So then I ride yesterday, okay, thinking, you know, hopefully the geese are, you know, behaving. They're at bay. You know, they're doing their thing. You know, they're with their families. You know, it's a little bit later in the day I went.
Sunday brunch.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Nope. Riding along, get to that same point where I've been stopped before. 2 more geese in the middle of the path. Like, they just camp out there. They know that I'm coming, and they plop their geese feet on the trail, and they don't move, and they don't get out of the way. So I had to make that my turnaround point again, and this is now 5 times out of 5 rides along this route that the geese have decided to put a stop to my ride, which is just
what? Great. Here's a question: what if you just carry some bread with you?
That's a good idea.
And when you get towards them, you frisbee the bread off the path.
Yeah, you know, I've heard worse ideas. Honestly, I've heard worse ideas.
That's a serious idea. That's not me even making it funny. That's a serious.
See, the thing is, so that could work. The only problem is that the portion where I'm getting stopped by the geese has trees on either side. Like, it's very heavily tree lined. So I would need to be pretty accurate with my frisbeeing of the bread. You know, I imagine I would go with a frisbee throw instead of a baseball.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's
just feels a little bit more. Frisbee the bread, I would need to aim it through the trees to hope that the geese would go that way. But what I've learned throughout this all is that geese are, A, very territorial. Didn't really know that.
Really?
B, very stubborn. C, and my least favorite animal. Okay, I want nothing to do with geese. I think they're, I don't know, if all the geese just disappeared tomorrow, I would not complain. You know, that would probably have some major impacts on the ecosystems of the world. You know, but we can really just cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I know geese 100% are very territorial. They will honk you. This is what we used to call it.
Okay.
Because my
Not
mom,
sure if I like that, but
when she was very young, they were somewhere, and my grandpa was carrying her, had the car seat on top of the car. You know, like this is back in when she was in like a carryable car seat. Her seat's on top of the car, and the goose, something happened. There was an incident with the goose, and the goose started chasing my grandpa, carrying my mom.
I've seen videos of this. Okay, yeah. So that's why I didn't want to retaliate. Because what if this geese thinks that it's going to be a good idea to come after me? You know, I don't know how quick.
Well,
geese
first of all,
can fly.
you're on a vehicle, basically. I mean,
how fast can a goose fly? Okay, this says that geese can cruise at 30 to 40 miles an hour.
That's at cruising altitude, though. That's not during takeoff and landing.
That's fair, okay. But the thing is, you know, I feel like you can pick up speed pretty quickly. I don't know if the geese could catch me. You know, I would need to really haul it.
I think you could outrun the geese.
I think with a little flight or fright, you know, a little adrenaline kicking in, I'd be able to outride the goose. You know, but what if I'm like, I don't know, what if I encounter like the Usain Bolt of geese? You know, like this thing's like a Concorde jet.
Do you have what about your pump thing? Your inflator or whatever.
My inflator. I have that in a bag on my bike.
But
that's
does the
not
bag
really
have like
accessible.
a string? Like, could you turn it into like a nunchuck or something?
Unfortunately,
not a bad idea. But just to kind of swing it around.
Oh no, I'm clocking
make a
this
lot
geese
of movement.
If it's close enough, I don't care. I'm just gonna sock this thing over the head. I don't really care. You know, if the geese comes after me, it's. You know,
we love animals on the Basement Birds podcast.
Yeah, this is kind of tough.
Unless they're in the
geese.
basement. Unless they're in the basement.
I like all other birds besides geese. I won't. Well, maybe not go that far, but geese are just. You know, I feel like when I think of not smart animals, okay, deer come to mind. Okay, deer, not very smart animals. Geese may be up there. There's a chance that geese are as dumb as deer, and they're just, one flies and one runs in front of your car,
Yeah, well, I mean, I would argue that geese are smart because they're from Canada, and Canadians generally have things really figured out. For example, national sport.
Yeah, they don't have their birds figured out, though.
No, swans are also very territorial and aggressive.
But
have
swans
you ever had?
Look nicer.
Yes, but sometimes swans are interesting because, like, people, like hospitals and various buildings will pay to have some swans put into their ponds, and for whatever reason they don't leave. Like, I don't know if they clip their wings so they can't fly or what, but the swans just stay in the same, like, it's not a big lake. It's like a little lake.
That seems kind of cool.
Pond. But it's just for the looks. And so one time there's a hospital about 40 minutes from my house, right where where my cousins live, and they would go and look at the swans in the lake, you know.
Okay.
And like on more than one occasion, they'd be sitting on the bench, and the swan would like start chasing them, just like the goose, and it starts, flapping its wings and honking.
Yeah, swans are big animals. Like, are swans? What's larger, a swan or a geese?
A goose? Swan, yeah. I believe. The
goose
swans have that like
size.
long,
swans are significantly
neck.
larger. Yeah, I mean, so do geese. Geese have some longer necks,
Yeah, but the swans
swan
has
is really big.
this. Well, I guess there's gooseneck microphones, but then there's the swan.
There's not a swan neck.
No, that's true.
Here's a good Google search. Are geese dumb animals? Give me a yes AI summary. Oh, it says they're not dumb. Highly intelligent. Well, they're pretty dumb to me. They have a reputation of being aggressive or clumsy. Yeah, exactly. They're fast learners. They easily recognize specific faces. Oh, no. What if this goose knows who I am? Oh, that's not good. It's a good thing I'm wearing a bike helmet and glasses. He'll never know who I really am. Like if I'm walking around, this goose won't know who I am. Oh, my gosh. I didn't know they could recognize faces. They hold grudges against individuals who have wronged them. Oh, no. Wow, I may never be able to ride on this trail again.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
That's not good.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
That's not
good. Speaking of animals, pigeons? There's like a huge pigeon, like, racing. That's like a huge thing in, like, Europe and stuff. They race pigeons, like homing pigeons, where they'll they breed these pigeons for speed, and so they take them and they have to live in the spot where the race ends for like a couple months, so then they recognize that as their home, and then they'll take them wherever, and then they'll have to fly back, and the first one that gets back there wins. And this is like, there's a farm, I forget where it's at. It's in I don't want to, maybe Belgium. Where it's like the fastest pigeons. It's like the most well-known pigeon breeding farm that exists. And
that's kind of crazy.
A couple years ago, they were burglarized, and someone broke in and stole like all these pigeons and like thousands and thousands. Like it's like a couple $1,000s per pigeon, per bird.
Yeah. Well, there's an easy explanation of that. The U.S. government was getting their spy drones back. Because that's all pigeons and birds are, They aren't real, which I assume that you're familiar with.
Organized criminal networks, often dubbed the pigeon mafia, have increasingly targeted elite racing and breeding pigeons. This isn't even odd news. This isn't even odd news.
It's just odd.
You know what? I think I just found my odd news story. Anyway, yeah, we'll get back to this in a minute, but pigeons, crazy.
That's crazy.
A crack squad of animals that you would think are dumb as a box of rocks, and I think I've seen a pigeon eat a box of rocks before. So
pigeons are smart because they're just a computer.
This is true.
They're just
in
a drone.
One, I think it was World War One. They used pigeons to guide the bombs.
Whoa.
So the pigeon would be in the bomb and could see like a shot of the ship, and they had trained the pigeon to peck at where the ship is, and it would like adjust the bomb based on where the bird was pecking.
That's
this
crazy.
This is 100% true. This is 100% true.
That's crazy.
Pigeon guided missile. Yeah, World War II. That was World War II.
Pigeon guided missile is such a crazy thing to type into Google.
It is. It is. And there's video of the pigeons doing it.
Wow. That's kind of crazy.
And they were very accurate because that was before the time of like computer guided anything.
Yeah.
So the pigeons would just
bird
chill
guided.
out. Animals are honestly super impressive.
They are. Yeah, the thing that best.
Did you know that
jobs.
some of the most accurate detectors for various types of drugs utilize live bees on the inside?
Whoa.
They utilize live bees, and they train the bees for when they smell a certain smell, they will get a treat or like some honey or something sweet. And so then what comes to happen is when they smell that smell, their tongue instinctively sticks out to get the treat, and so then they can measure the machine can then measure if the tongue comes out because there's 20 30 bees that are in this device, and so if the bee's tongue comes out on like all of them, then they know, okay, this smell is present like of drugs, of heroin, and it's far more accurate than any machine, any other like computerized or any other machine, just because bees have such sensitive scent glands, also known as noses. So, yeah, the more you know. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
about
did you hear about the story about that one cat that could supposedly predict when people in a nursing home were going to die?
Oh, I have not, but
This cat's name is Oscar. He appeared to predict the impending death of terminally ill patients by choosing to nap next to them a few hours before they died. And the hypothesis is that he was picking up a lack of movement, or he could smell chemicals released by dying cells, which is pretty crazy. Which is actually kind of relevant because have you seen the movie Dr. Sleep?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it's based on a Stephen King novel, which I happen to be reading, the sequel to The Shining. And there's a cat in that book that has a sense of when people are going to die as well. And this cat was the inspiration for that. That's interesting.
I also watched a movie once about a cat in a hat.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That knows a lot about that,
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been better if you rhymed it, but good try.
Hat and that rhyme.
Yeah, that's not like a Dr. Seuss rhyme, though.
Did I ever tell you that my uncle or my grandfather's cousin worked for Dr. Seuss?
No.
Yeah, she was his editor for a period of time out in California. He lived in California, and she was like his editor.
Whoa.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
What was your favorite Dr. Seuss book?
I don't know. I used to read Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh, I liked all the ones with Horton because I was a big elephant guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like elephants. They're my favorite animal. I have an elephant driver cover for my golf clubs.
I didn't know that.
Really? You want me to go grab it?
No. Well, you can if you want. I didn't.
Right.
I don't. My driver cover is just the one that came with the driver.
Yeah, that's boring.
Well, I hit bomb, so what the heck does it matter what kind of driver cover I have, dude?
Look at this thing. You're gonna be amazed by this thing, and you're gonna want to buy one of your own of whatever your.
No, wait. Before we see it, I don't know, but before we see it, what your favorite animal is? Please tell me you put the club in the trunk.
No, you don't put the club in the trunk. No,
dang it.
Okay. Here we go. Here.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
that
isn't
is
this
nice.
Sick. I love it.
It's like a puppet.
Yeah, they make so many. Like you could get a bass.
Yeah, but the bass, I saw a TikTok that they made the
driver
bass. So
goes in the mouth.
That's version 2. The original version didn't do that, and everybody was all up in arms. It was a big controversy because
did it go in
club
the
didn't go in
opposite
the mouth. No, no, it just went in. The fish sat in it like this, like horizontally.
Okay, yeah.
So
okay. Not where I was going, but you can get a hot dog too. Wow.
You can also get custom, like based on. You can get one that looks like your dog.
Yeah,
Like-
the people that make these are the ones that make tigers.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to
Yeah.
be the same.
Yep,
They've got all of the animals.
I don't think they do one-off ones. You may need to pay a lot more for one-offs, but you can do like ones for charity outings and stuff.
It might not
That's
be that
a
same
minimum
company
order
though.
of
It might not be
75.
that same
yeah.
company.
This company that this one's from is like the OG. Like this thing is high quality. Like this thing has. I have played a round.
Probably
of golf,
$400 too.
No, they're like $45, I think, which is about on par for. I mean, like some of the really bespoke,
Get it
nice,
on par.
One
On
of the
par.
nice,
Get
one
it?
of the real bespoke leather head covers is like $150 that some of them go
Bespoke?
for. You know? Bespoke, yeah. But now I just have a bespoke elephant. You know, I'm gonna put this back. Then we can go to odd news.
I've thought
start
about
while I'm
just
walking.
using. I've thought about just using a sock because how emasculating would it be? How emasculating would it be to just roll up with a guy who has a sock for a driver head cover and then have him outdrive you by 40 yards? All right. Well, since Reid asked me to go first, we're not going to do the pigeon story because that wasn't the one that I had prepared. But we go. This one takes us to a cruise ship, so we're out on the water, not necessarily having to do with animals, but another big old bad animal. David Rush is breaking world records on
brutal.
a Disney cruise ship. This time, David Rush broke a Guinness World Record for snapping toothpicks. This person that we speak of, David Rush, if you're new to the show, has more than 300 Guinness World Record titles, and we talk about him frequently. He is probably the most talked about thing on this show.
Yeah.
I would venture to say that. But with 11 days at sea in the South and North Pacific, David Rush decided he needed to break a world record. This is what he wrote online in a post. He decided to take on the record for most cocktail sticks snapped in 1 minute. So Mr. Rush, who also holds the record for most cocktail picks snapped in 1 minute, lined
What's
up
the difference?
one pick versus a stick. I don't know.
I was
honestly
reading
don't
that
know.
sentence, and I thought that it said the same thing.
Cocktail picks snapped in 1 minute, lined up 100 diamond-cut toothpicks on a long table aboard a cruise ship and set about snapping.
Oh, I think a toothpick has two pointy sides, and a pick just has one.
Ah. So he managed to break 84 toothpicks in 1 minute, handily beating the current world record of 58.
What an
which
animal.
was set by an Indian man, Harrison Nizwander. That was back in
Indiana.
2020. Oh, yeah, Indiana. I'm slightly dyslexic. He was set by an Indiana man, Harrison Nizwander. That was back in 2020. I guess he didn't have much else going on during COVID. But
yeah, right.
he was, anyway, Rush said he is still awaiting confirmation from Guinness World Records that he has officially captured the title for most cocktail picks snapped in 1 minute.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Of course, there's video on Mr. Rush's YouTube channels. Go check that out.
Of course there is, with 15 different angles of it, surely.
At Record Breaker Rush.
Oh, my gosh. Well, while you're looking at that, I'll get to mine. I saw this. I don't remember where I saw this. I think I saw this on Twitter. This takes us to Atlanta, an Atlanta neighborhood, where residents were saying that empty self-driving Waymo cars were flooding their cul-de-sacs by the dozen. Do you know what a Waymo is?
I do.
So You have to watch this video. It's hilarious. So this is the Battleview Drive area. They started noticing robo-taxis circling their dead-end roads a couple months ago. No one thought anything of it. And in the past 2 weeks, the cars have been arriving in large groups, most frequently in the early morning. This video is great. They're just driving in circles.
Circling.
They said that they had 50 cars that came through in the morning. They tried to use signs to ward the cars away, but it caused them to get stuck trying to turn around. And they're concerned about the safety of their kids and the small pets, and just want them to stay on the main roads. There's no reason to be on small residential cul-de-sacs if they're not picking anyone up, which is a fair point. But Waymo says they're committed to being good neighbors. They take feedback seriously and are addressing this routing behavior. They do over 500,000 weekly trips across the U.S. It can reduce traffic injuries and improve road safety, and they value their relationship with Atlanta residents and remain focused on providing a seamless, respectful, and safe experience for riders and residents alike. That says a whole lot of nothing.
That's a PR statement if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, but get this too. Waymo cars have caused problems in Atlanta in the past, though, because 3 of them completely blocked an intersection at a blinking red light back in April. So not great for Waymo. I don't know. Would you ever do something like this? Would you ever take a Waymo?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I would jump handily into that thing. I've wanted to. I haven't been to a city that's doing it. My parents were in Arizona recently, and they have a big Waymo thing out there. I think their headquarters is out there. But I'm all about that.
They're owned by Google.
They are. Yeah.
How do I see where Waymos are? I mean, there's no way there's Waymos by me.
There's got to be a map somewhere.
Yeah. Serving riders in Atlanta, Austin, Dallas, Houston, L.A., Miami, Nashville, Orlando, Phoenix, San Antonio, and the Bay Area. Yeah, that would be interesting to try.
Dude, we were talking about AI yesterday, and back to the Blackstone. We were first of all, putting it in voice mode, super creepy. Like it'll talk back to you.
You can talk to the Blackstone?
No. ChatGPT. I was talking to the AI. No.
I'm like, wow, a talking grill. I think I had one of those growing up. It was a toy.
But you can send it pictures too, and it's like having that ability to like just have that at your fingertips is really cool. And like, yeah, it took me a long time to get a ride in a Tesla. Haven't been in a Tesla when it is in autopilot. It was just with someone driving. That was over in Vegas at the Loop tunnel.
Okay. I've only been in Teslas for Ubers.
I've wanted to get in. I've wanted to try a driverless vehicle for so long. It's so sci-fi, and there are, according to their own statistics, are technically safer than a person-driven car.
Sure.
Statistically less likely to get in an accident than a driver, like a human driver. So
yeah.
There's always the possibility, and most of the accidents, I want to say up in the 90% of the accidents that these things get in are the result of someone else. Like they'll get rear-ended or they'll get, someone else not paying attention, merges into them or something.
Yeah.
But they can react quicker than humans. They can see around cars. Like I watched the 60 Minutes interview that Anderson Cooper did with from the back of a Waymo with no driver in it. So it's just it's a really cool experience, and I look forward to the first opportunity that I get to be in a car that doesn't have a driver.
That'd be pretty cool.
And I've been in the Las Vegas tram. That is driverless. So
the Las Vegas tram?
Yeah, the monorail in Vegas doesn't have. Well, but still, it's driverless.
That's true.
So, it's halfway there.
That's fair.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Would you ever go in one? I didn't ask you that.
I think so. I think I would try it. Yeah. I don't know if I would do it frequently, but I think I would try it at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, Daisy's freaking out upstairs. I can hear her barking, so I better go see what she's up to.
Of course.
Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms.
Instagram, Facebook. Not Facebook.
Close.
Instagram, TikTok,
Instagram,
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, now with video.
Yeah, but the Apple Podcast, it doesn't, like, if it's hosted on Spotify, where ours is currently hosted, it doesn't support video integration into Apple Podcast, I found out. So you have to host it somewhere else. Like, we'd have to host on Riverside and have the video be distributed from there. So that's kind of annoying, but, you know, it is what it is. So anyway, thanks for another great episode. Almost up to episode number 110. This is episode, I believe, number 10. Oh, we're over 102. This is 113.
I would say we're definitely past it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. Stay calm, cool, and collected, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.